What's happening, everybody? Today's Sunday, November 1st, 2015, and I'm going to record a video of me shaving and talking to you while I shave. Today's things, today's blade is going to be these. Oh. And I actually am not very prepared, and I have to load it in the razor. Usually that's kind of ready to go, but not today. Today's razor is going to be Wolfman WR10C turned up blade gap to make it a touch more aggressive. But this razor is still very, very, very composed. Yeah, if you guys are on the waiting list for Wolfman and are considering adding on to your order when your card is pulled, or your number's pulled, excuse me, or just have been thinking about doing the more aggressive version, it's very, very good. Like I said, it's extremely composed. It is more aggressive than a regular Wolfman, but I mean, honestly, like I said, the thing is just still so incredibly well-mannered. James knows what he's doing. Today's soap is going to be discontinued Boudelaire by Barrister and Mann Black Label. Very good stuff. Smells good. But I guess that's kind of, you don't really have to say that when you're talking about Barrister and Mann soaps. Today's brush is going to be the GD47. I don't think I've used this one in a video before. This was turned for me by my brush guy. Yeah, it's dope. It has a wet shaving products, 28mm superfine 2-band knot. It is set a little high, but that's okay because honestly, I don't think that there's a way to make this knot anything less than exemplary. It's really, really good. I had another brush that the same guy turned for me. Derek is his name. Actually, it's not another brush that he turned. I just re-knotted the Laguna Seca Badger. And this is the knot that was in the Laguna Seca Badger. And it was re-knotted. It has a 32mm wet shaving product superfine knot. And it just doesn't, I don't like it as much as this one. This is a hell of a knot. And I don't know, it seems to me that the current knots that they're using just aren't the same hair as what's in this one. Now, the main difference between this knot, or this knot, and the ones that they're selling now, these hairs seem to they have a bit more resilience. They just seem to be a little bit tougher. They just seem to be a little bit tougher, and the tips aren't quite as silly soft as they are in the new superfine knots. And you know, I prefer a scrubby brush, so yeah, I really do like this knot a whole lot. Good backbone, good scrub. Tips are nice, and the tips are decent. They're not like punishingly. They're not brutal. It's not like it's not a pure brush. You know what I mean? You pay good money for this knot, and you get a good knot. Actually, you don't pay good money. These knots aren't that expensive compared to other knots. Now, I will say, I do have a 28mm Envy White, knot from Nathan Clark that I have yet to install in a brush because that brush hasn't been turned yet. And it's a lot closer to this knot than the 32mm superfinest, or superfine, whatever knot that I got from wet shaving products. Anyway, I've babbled on a lot, and I haven't even put any metal to my face yet. I just realized earlier, while I was in the shower, that, today's the 1st of November. Moved to this little village 6 months ago today. So, alright. So, I went to the cafe earlier today, and by the cafe I mean Old City Java, excuse me. I always call it Old Town Java. But I went to Old City Java today. I went there yesterday as well, and I finished reading a book that I started, and I'm not much of a reader, like at all. The name of the book is Electrochock, which it's like a bastardization, I suppose, of the word electroshock. It's an autobiography of a French DJ named Laurent Garnier. He is the party responsible for the hit records The Man with the Red Face and Crispy Bacon, among others. And I'll link those tunes down below so you can have a listen to them. They're very good. Laurent Garnier is he's a French guy, obviously. He's like the French techno guy. Now, you guys, by this point, you probably know that the history of dance music is kind of a thing for me. I kind of perv out on it. I'll be honest, when I bought the book, I bought it thinking that it was going to be, I don't know, I guess I bought the book thinking that it is, that it was going to be what it is, but I don't know, I just, for some reason, I kind of was whatever. Anyway, so, like I said, it's an autobiography, and, it's his story. He was around for a very long time, or he's been around for a very long time, I should say. So it's his story in dance music, and kind of like the early days of it and everything in Europe and Paris, specifically, which is where he got his start. Laurent Garnier, he's just one of those guys that's been around forever. Of course, he was very instrumental in, or he was a player, I should say, in, getting the French scene off the ground. And a lot of you probably have heard of a couple guys called Daft Punk. They're French. And, yeah. So Laurent Garnier definitely, he's one of the reasons Daft Punk was a thing. Anyway, so the book was interesting. Basically just went over, him growing up and I guess the set of circumstances in his life that led to him becoming a DJ, particularly one of the early DJs in France, Paris, excuse me. I said parents. So yeah. And here's the thing, is that I'm very, like I said, I'm very much about the history of dance music. But I'm far more interested in the history of the music rather than everything else that goes along with it. I enjoy going to the club and all that. I enjoy going to the club more than most 38-year-olds do, and I probably do go to the club more often than the average 38-year-old does. That's a plus and a minus. So, it was just his story about, how he came up through the ranks and got his start in the Parisian nightlife. And, like I said, generally speaking, I'm more concerned with the history of the music itself rather than the clubs and the DJs and all that stuff. But this one actually, it's interesting because, you know, at the end of the day, dance music, well, I shouldn't say dance music, but house and techno is American music. A lot of people, they just don't know that, but you guys that watch these videos, you guys know that. It's American music. It started here, it didn't get big here. What's terrible is that the stuff that is big here, or the stuff that did make it big here, I should say, as far as dance music is concerned, is EDM, and that's a bit of a that's a huge shame. I don't really like that stuff. But yeah, I mean, you know, America made it. It got overseas back in the mid and late 80s, and I mean they lapped it up. They loved it, you know. But that's because culturally speaking, dance music has always had an easier time in Europe than it did have here. A lot of that has to do with people's personal feelings on disco, and I think a lot of the American opinion on disco had more to do with the crowd that was into it than anything else, which is a shame, but whatever, it is what it is. Stupid, but again, it is what it is. Case in point, I don't remember what the guy's name was. I think he was a Chicago DJ, actually. Chicago radio DJ, I should say. The guy that organized the whole Disco Sucks record burning campaign. And a lot of the records that were destroyed at that event, I guess for want to keep this video free from profanity, because I know some people watch these with their childrens. Yeah, it wasn't just disco records that were burned there. There was a lot of things at play there. But you know, disco turned into house, and that happened in America. Got overseas and it got big. So club culture and all that, you know, that's the club aspect of it definitely is more a European thing than an American thing, although that's not a 100% fair statement, because there were clubs in America. The clubs in a couple of cities in America actually is where house and techno and disco, for that matter, actually, you know, came from, was nurtured, developed, and all that. This knot is so good, man. I'll put this knot against most knots that I have, and that includes the Shave Max. And again, that Envy White knot from Nathan Clark is a lot closer in properties than what wet shaving products are selling now. So I can and do recommend the Envy White knots from Mr. Nathan Clark on his Etsy store, and I suppose I can link to his store down there as well. So yeah, you know, it got big in Europe, but at the end of the day, you know, and dance music may live in Europe, so to speak, but at the end of the day, America is home for dance music. And you know, just hearing Mr. Gagne's stories about having the American guys come over and play for the first time back in the late 80s. They're good stories. And again, that just, you know, I've mentioned this before in past videos. Europe has always had a bit of an obsession with what the black kids are doing in the cities of the United States of America. Again, house and techno, case in point. Case in point. This knot holds on to so much lather. Even though it's small for a 28mm knot, it's got a 26mm plug. But the thing just holds on to a gang of lather. So yeah, his stories about those guys, you know, the American guys coming to play Europe for the first time were great. Particularly the underground resistance guys from Detroit, Mad Mike and crew. And it just always makes me think, you know, what would it be like? What would a lot of things be like if dance music were to hit a big here rather than Europe back in the 80s, you know? Because if you remember in the 90s in America, I guess the recording industry tried to make electronica a thing. I don't know if you guys may remember that or not, but that was the recording industry's first attempt at dance music in America. Excuse me. Actually, let me do this real quick. All right. Yeah, I wonder, you know, what the trajectory, the path, or whatever for dance music would have been if, you know, dance music would have just gotten big here rather than overseas. So yeah, I can definitely recommend it. You know, you don't have to be into dance music to read the book. It is a good story, but you know, I guess if you are into dance music, it'd make a little bit, I guess it would mean a little bit more, whatever, if you read the book. You know, these blades, I have a mongoose, but I much prefer these blades in this thing than the mongoose. The mongoose is very mild. Although the open comb mongoose, that seems interesting. So yeah, like I was saying, I definitely can recommend the book, even if you don't like dance music. It's still a good read anyway. But I'm going to start. A friend of mine, Josh, sent me a couple books in the mail. I'm going to, I don't remember what they're called, but I'm going to start on those. Generation Ecstasy is one of them, and I don't remember. I think the other one is Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. That's what it is. Start on those next week. So that should be good. This is pretty much it here. Today's aftershave is going to be, I think this one just pairs very well with the Boudelaire. This is the Barrister mann Latha post-shave splash. It's alcohol-free, which generally speaking I prefer alcohol splashes, but I wanted something without menthol, but something that went with the Boudelaire, and I think this one pairs pretty well with it. IMO. It's a bit sweeter, but again, I think they work well together. All right, this is pretty much going to be it here. I'll have to go to dinner, I should say. I've been trying to find an Indian restaurant around here that I like, or that's good, but no such luck so far. Anyway. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys, I hope everyone had a good Halloween. I hope you haven't eaten all your kids' candy. Yeah, until the next time, peace.